Hi, Mackenzie. This is your professor giving you feedback on your storytelling speech. So, one of the things that I have to tell you is kudos to you because this was the way the speech was written is extremely rich in metaphors. And so you know that you had so many outstanding, beautiful metaphors, and to remember everything and to deliver it is a really hard task. And I can totally imagine how difficult it could be, to remember so many things, so to remember so many metaphors and talk about your whole, coming ups and coming into being story through your experience in high school. And so this is what I will tell you is I felt that, yeah, I was able to, it was, your speech was shot in the landscape format, which is this format. So thank you for doing that. I was able to clearly see your audience. I was able to see you a head to toe video, and I was also able to see your facial expression. So thank you for making my job quite easy. The technical requirements, you fulfilled it. A few things now in regards to your delivery skills. I felt that there were some pauses, and which you may have also noticed. There were a few pauses, and those again, those pauses were slightly awkward, as opposed to being effective pauses where you pause and then you pause for an ID, or you pause to let your audience think about something. This was more about I think you were trying to gather your thoughts. Um, so I so I yes, you could pause when you're trying to remember something, as opposed to having vocalized pauses, which you didn't have too many of those. So I understood that when you were pausing, you were trying to think about, instead of using vocalized pauses, you were trying to think about your next sentence or your next idea. So a little bit of more practice, and also see whether this kind of, when you this will come with practice. You saw how this worked out for you in terms of your delivery. Yeah, had the speech been written a little bit more in easier terms, or in things in language that would be easy for you to remember, do you think, you can ask this question to yourself, that do you think you would have that would have created a much more smoother delivery? So those are things that you, and that's fine if sometimes if we really challenge ourselves to do really hard tasks, maybe we will get there, but we get there with a little bit of time. So you're pretty ambitious, which is great. I like ambitions. And another thing is that you could use a lot more hand gestures. Remember, you express with your hands, and when you open your hands, you show your intention to the audience. Okay, so a little bit more intentional hand gestures, a little bit of head movement, not very very frequently, but if even if you have a little bit of body, you had a pretty nice large stage kind of you had room to move around. So if you, even if you think that little bit of creating three zones for your circuit. This is zone A, zone B, zone C. I'm going to start with in zone C, or I'm going to start in zone A, and then I'm going to move to zone B, and then go to zone C. And again, do it very, very, very subtly, so that doesn't seem that you're actually intentionally moving. But just, the reason is, if you move around a little bit, not too much, then the audience follows you with their eyes, and once they follow you with their eyes, their mind is working, so they're much more engaged. So yeah, these